Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another gently chaotic episode of Super Nerdy Crafts. It's a little bit delayed. I'm meeting you after more than 2 months today. So, this episode is going to be purely focused on my knitting. So, usually, what I do during these monthly episodes, I kind of talk about everything crafting related that I work on, but this time I decided that it has been so much time and so much has happened since the last time that it kind of deserves to be separated. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here for 3 hours, and who wants to watch that or listen to that or edit that, to be honest? So I'm going to talk only about knitting that's been done throughout last 2 months and show you some of my projects. By the way, my name is Bara. I'm coming to you from Czech Republic, which is a small country in the heart of Europe. I live here in Brno, which is the second largest city. I live in a flat with my boyfriend and with our dog Princess Sarilla. And yeah, I love knitting, crocheting, sewing, crafting. I do cosplay as well. So that's usually what I talk about during these little journal sessions. As I said, this time is going to be slightly different, but I will be also recording special episodes about what I was working on, cosplay related. So if you like that content as well, stay tuned. I will try to record that session as soon as possible and release it within a week from this one, hopefully. But now, let's talk about knitting, and let's start with the finished objects. Well, 2 months could have mean that there is a lot that I managed to finish, but the opposite is true. I was casting on a lot, but I have 3 finished objects anyways. So it's 2 pairs of socks and one top that you can see behind me. But first things first, what I'm wearing, you perhaps know this sweater because I was working on it not very long ago during summertime. It's the No Place Like Gnome sweater by Petra Machova, who's a Czech designer, and her designs are always very colorful, full of these little like pictures of joyful things. So this one is like a garden theme. There are gnomes, there are strawberries, fences, there's also some pears, I believe, water cans, a lot of things. So I had a blast. Knitting this. I think I made it in a month or 2 because the color work itself was very, very entertaining, so I couldn't take it down, and I made a few modifications, and I've worn it several times since then, but it was quite worn until recently, so I think I will get a better use of it now. Anyways, I thought it's nice occasion to take it today because I've never worn it for a podcast before. So yeah, no place like gnomes. Now, when it comes to the finished objects, I will start with the socks. So first pair is for myself. It's called Raising Dawn socks. I casted them in July when we were traveling. The pattern is by Stephen West, and it's part of his West Knits Year of Socks 2023, which is a monthly subscription, pattern subscription that he released at the beginning of this year. Every month you receive a pattern for socks. This one I think was June pattern, something along those lines, and I believe it's one of the, either it's the only one, or it's one of the few one-colored patterns that he has. Usually he has like a lot of colorful patterns that you can use for your leftover yarn, etc. But this one was like one-colored. What I really love about it is that texture. It basically uses a very simple technique that I'm not gonna reveal to create this almost like woven texture, and it's really beautiful. Other than that, the socks are knitted from top, so you start with the cuff, then you go with the leg, fairly standard heel, and then you just continue with the same pattern all along the sock. The yarn I used was by Mountain Fibres, which is a Czech dyer, and I'm not sure what this colorway is called, but it's sock merino base. And it came in a set. It was this color along with a mini that was like lavender violet, which is a color that can be also seen here. So I used just this one. I think the consumption was around, I don't know, 70 grams, 65. So I have a lot of leftover that I can still use for other socks and other projects. And I use 2mm needles. I always use 2.0mm needles for socks because I'm a very loose knitter. So yeah, that's how I knit socks. Overall experience was great. Really very enjoyable. I blocked them already, so I can finally start wearing them. Really looking forward. Very gentle colorway as well. So this is my first pair. Second, from the same pattern book, so again Stephen West, is this pair. That's also West Knit Year of Socks 2023 featured pattern. This is a January pattern. And to amuse you, I casted this on in February, and it took me until September to finish them. Now, this is how the socks look like. I'll show you. Whoops, both of them, because I alternated colors. So this sock pattern calls for two yarns. One is like a contrast, one is like a main. I used Filcolana Arwetta as my main color for the first sock. This is my first sock. This is the first one that I made. And then I had Crazy Zauberball for this contrast color that was, I think that the color scheme was like green, beige, and gray. So sometimes when the Zauberball gets to those grayish tones, it's barely visible that there is some contrast, but sometimes it's like very, very much visible that there is like a different color. The reason why it took me so long, and you might remember that from previous podcasts, because this is definitely not the first time that I'm featuring these socks. I had issues, or not issues, I didn't enjoy the cables at the beginning, because this pattern here, and you start from the top again, so this took me like no time, right? And then I started doing this, and it was a pain. I really was very slow. All the manipulation with the cable needle, no, not my thing. So I made about this, and then I just didn't, I put it away. And then I was visiting my grandparents, and I decided that I need a traveling project because I was going from Brno to Liberec, which is, I think, about 5 hours of travel by train or bus. And I thought I need something that will keep me entertained, really keep me entertained. So I took this, and I forgot the cable needle or something like that. I decided not to use it, and then I used a different technique to make the cables, and suddenly it was bearable. It was great. So I think I made almost the whole sock throughout those couple days because I was a lot of time for knitting. And I was very happy with it, so I cast it on the second one, and then it went smoothly. The only issue that I have now, I didn't have enough Arwetta, so I alternated the colors. So this second sock is the other way around. The Crazy Zauberball is the brain color, and you can see here much more, much better the colors that it actually has. So it has also some black, it has a lot of this like very vibrant green, almost yellowish. It has a very light gray that goes to beige, etc. So here you can see the contrast much better actually. But the issue is that Zauberball apparently is thicker, because when I compare the socks together, and I'm going to laugh at me, yeah. This is the size difference. So although I made it, and it's also visible a little bit here on the top, but although I made it on the very same needles, you know, same stitch count and everything, the fact that I used different kind of yarn basically on different areas made them a different size. Even though I try to block it, the difference is still fairly visible. But yeah, the socks are for my boyfriend, by the way. I already checked with him, he doesn't mind, so I don't have to redo them. I don't think that would ever happen. But yeah, he'll be using them, I believe, for, you know, like sessions at home mostly. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think that I need to cover anything more. Yeah. Finally done this one. Really happy about it. So that's the second pair of sock. And then the third finished object is my second Ranunculus. But that's the pattern by Midori Hirose. I think it's the most popular pattern on Ravelry, something like that. So basically everyone that knits and knows that Ravelry exists, know of this pattern, and I think vast majority of knitters also made it. And a lot of people made it in several versions, now including myself. So let's talk about it. First things first, the yarn is by Labien Aimee, and it's the Merino singles based in a colorway Air Guitar. And this colorway is half gray, half different neon colors. So it's a fairly futuristic look that I feel from this, but I like it. I made some alterations on the design. So first of all, my first Ranunculus, when I made it was still quite narrow here on the neckline. So I decided to add stitches here on the neck. And now I have an opposite issue. It's way too wide, but it still fits very well because, it doesn't fit the way I wanted it, but I still see myself wearing it because it goes from one shoulder, which I quite like. I still need to wear something underneath because it's very see-through, so that's not an issue that it, you know, falls somehow. But yeah, when I will be working my third Ranunculus, I think I will have to do something in between. I used 6mm needles, so the stitches are very big. The fabric itself is very, as I said, like loose, see-through, very comfortable as well. I made it very cropped. If you take a look at this, this is basically the length, and I made long sleeves, so the sleeves are almost double the length than the body, which is fun. Yeah, they are a little bit too long. When I blocked it, I saw then that it stretched a little bit, and the one issue that I have with it is that next time I need to work this I-cord ending better. What happened is that it's still too wide, so it doesn't really sit on the wrist the way I would want, you know. So my imagination was that it will be like a balloon sleeve, so it will be slightly like gathered by the ending, and it will sit good, it will sit tightly on the wrist. That's not the case, so it slips a little bit, but it's not an issue. I might rework it. If not, I'm still happy with it. So my second Ranunculus, by the way, both of my Ranunculi are from fingering weight singles. So I'm contemplating making one more next year from something more thick. And I have Nutidan. So maybe I'll make myself like a wintry version from Nutidan. We'll see. We'll see. That's yeah. It's not too far from now. I mean, I just realized it's mid-November almost. It's 12th of November, by the way, today. So very soon I'll be planning my Make 9 for... I'm not doing too well on this year's Make 9, to be honest. Okay, well, anyways, I think Ranunculus will made it to my Make 9 for next year, especially because I have already the material at home, and stash busting is always a good thing. Anyways, that was the Ranunculus. I think I covered it pretty much well. I enjoy this pattern. In general, I really like knitting it. The beginning with the yoke and lace and stuff like that is very entertaining. Then, since it was cropped, it took me really little time to just do the body. And then the sleeves, yeah, they took me a little bit longer, but it was still okay. I casted it on in June, by the way, and finished in October. That's like a normal-ish period for me. So yeah, that wraps the finished objects. Let's do works in progress. At the beginning, I mentioned that I have a lot of works in progress, and I just counted it, it's 9. And out of these 9s, give me a moment, I think 6 are new cast-ons. Okay, 3 finished, 6 new. That's not what I was aiming for, but anyways. So we'll start with the works in progress that you already know. And yeah, let's start with the oldest one, shall we? Our friend for a very long time. Nivalis sweater by Teti Lutsak. You remember this one? It was a Christmas knit-along or winter knit-along last year. The knit-along was held by Valniene Sestry. I picked this pattern, I picked the yarn, fell in love. It's inspired, the colorway is inspired by Tris Ranunculus, her alternative look from the Witcher 3 games. I wanted to make something like that, and I was struggling since then. I was talking about my struggles with this pattern for several times already in previous podcasts, so I'm not going to go very deep in that, but generally it was my mistakes. It's not a problem of the pattern, I did wrong size at the beginning, then I struggled with some techniques, so I did usual color work instead of what she suggested in the original pattern. Then I have some issues with the neckline. I think I casted this on 3 times. Anyways, I made progress on the body. I think that's what I showed you last time as well. So the body is done, and then I also finished the first sleeve. First sleeve is done. So this, by the way, this color work and also the sleeve is not part of the original design. It only has color work here on the top. But when I worked the top, I realized that I have a lot of contrast color left over. So I decided to do some more color work. By the way, this is the yarn that I work from, and it's it is Devonia by John Arbon Textile. it's very nice. I really like working it. It's quite thin. It's fingering weight. It's quite thin, but I really, really enjoy it. As you can see, I'm using washi tapes to keep my skeins, or more like plates in this case, at one piece. And this is pre-acquiring my yarn winder, I think it's called. So this is still a ball, and this is already winded from it, by the way. Anyways, I'm now working on the second sleeve. Well, I started recently, so there's not much done on it, but well, more than I thought. Okay, well, there's some progress on the second sleeve as well. Shall we finish this until the end of the year? What do you think? What are the odds? Tell me in the comments. Do you think I will manage? I casted this on in November 2022, by the way, yeah, so it celebrates this first anniversary this month. So yeah, let me know how much you believe in me. I am convinced that I will manage, of course. So yeah, so far happy with how it looks. I did some try-ons, of course, and I think it will fit me nicely. I really love Teti Lutsak's designs. She's very... her attention to detail is great. Her aesthetic overall, very nice. I recommend you follow her on Instagram as well. Her Instagram account and wall is very nice to look at. Very nice to look at. So yeah, that's the first work in progress. Second, that you already saw, is the Aloft shawl. Now, let's start with the bag. This is by Decida, Czech yarn dyer. Last year she made advent calendars in 3 different colorways, I believe. I picked earth and water, so like blue toned, petrol, beige, you know, dark brown, ginger colors. And this bag came with it. It's very nice. And by the lucky set of coincidence, the project that I have in it is knitted from her advent yarn that was, you know, part of the same advent yarn calendar. So the project is called Aloft shawl. It's by Bekah Knits, and it's featured in the 52 Weeks of Shawls book. I casted it on in June, and I am working it on 3.5mm needles, I believe. I started with blue tones. Let me just arrange it here a little bit so you can see. It's a beast, yeah, so I'll try to show you somehow, but I'm not sure how successful am I going to be. So yeah, so it's huge. I think so far I consumed, well, I used about 14 minis. So the advent calendar was 20 gram fingering weight minis in 100% merino, and I used around 15 so far. So there's still 10 more, maybe 11 even. I think there was 2 on the last day, so maybe there's 25 actually. But I will also make tassels, so I need to estimate how much yarn am I going to need for the tassels, because it's actually like it eats yarn a lot. So I'll have to make that estimation, and then I will somehow estimate when to end. The original pattern, I believe I've already passed the original pattern size, but I decided that I really want to use all my minis from this advent calendar on it. So I just keep going until I will have, you know, I will reach the last color, or the you know, the end that I estimated with the tassels and everything, and then I will just bind it off. The pattern itself is very enjoyable. So it has basically lace. Wait a second, where is the middle? Okay. It's a triangular shawl. It's worked, you know, like this very easily. It has lace in it, but a very simple one. So there is this section. Oops, let me try showing you. There is this section here that is like more lace, so this always takes me a little bit longer. But then here is this section here, and this is like a lot of just pearl knits and some yarn overs, and you know, knit two together. So this is always very quick. Right now, I'm already finished all the blue tones, and I'm now in the beige tones. I will try to, you know, show a little bit better. I'm really looking forward how it's going to look like when I block it, because right now it's a little bit like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I am slowly going to be adding the brown tones very soon. So yeah, I am, well, this fade is actually no fade at all. I just knit until my skein finished, and then I just add another color. So you can tell that sometimes in areas the transitions are a little rougher, but I think that when I finish with it, and there will be so many colors, it will be really nice. Even now, I think it looks already nicely faded, even though there's no fade at all. So yeah, this beast is still work in progress, and sometimes I just pick it up when I'm in the mood for long rows, because right now I don't want to know how many 100 stitches are here per row. I don't want to know. But yeah, that was my Aloft shawl. And let me just quickly check whether I mentioned everything. I did. So let's move to the last work in progress that you've already seen, and that is my Ravenclaw sweater. I made some progress on it. Again, when I was traveling, to a different occasion though. Oops. So what I did is that I finished the yoke and I separated the sleeves. Ta-da! It looks wonderful. I tried it on already. It fits me very well. So overall, very happy with the progress. So the Ravenclaw sweater, I casted it on in May. It's a pattern by Meghan Regan. She made all the Hogwarts house sweaters. I think they're called the House Pride sweaters. Last year I made the Slytherin one. This year I'm making Ravenclaw. By the way, I am a Ravenclaw. I have no idea why I started with Slytherin. I think because I like the design the most. But yeah, so this is my my house. So I'm working on this one. The yarn that I use has actually speckles in it. I'm not sure if you're able, not speckles. It has metallic yarn, so it sparkles. Not sure if you're able to see, hopefully a little bit. It's by Atik yarn. Okay, and I will try to show you. Yeah, I have two colorways. I'm just trying to find a name, but I don't think that the base has any name. It's just a fingering weight by Atik yarn. Two colorways here. This was her Witcher collection. So funnily enough, this is called Geralt, and this colorway is called Vernon Roche, or just Vernon, I believe. So these are colors inspired by the Witcher universe, and I use them to knit a Harry Potter themed sweater, which I think it's a little heresy, but I think, yeah, I will be forgiven. So yeah, this is how it looks like so far. Very funny, very entertaining, you know, with all this color work, and it continues to the body too. So I'm now yeah, I have maybe 2 centimeters of the body. It's like this, very long. Yeah, but there's one more big motif, and that is the eagle, actually. And yeah, we have here the crown of Ravenna. We have a lot of like sky motifs, stars, etc. That's very much in line with Ravenclaw house. So very entertaining, something that I was working on lately a lot. I'm not going to say that I hope to finish it by the end of the year because that's fairly impossible, but yeah, like it a lot. And it's the third thing that I was working on, that was casted on before. Star Wars. Yeah, tea was needed. Okay, now we're moving to this other 6 that I casted on within last 2 months. Okay, let's start with the controversy, shall we? So I took part in Stephen West's mystery knit-along that is called Geogradient this year. For those who know Stephen and take part of the knit-alongs, you already, I think, saw everything around it. Basically, there was an issue with the first clue, that it looked, it had like negative connotation, the shape that it took. Yeah, I think that yeah, it was a mistake. Anyways, I casted it on. I made the first clue, managed to make the first clue before this whole started. I don't want to redo it, so I kept it, and I believe mine doesn't look like that with a lucky, but I'm not going to show the first clue. I was perhaps lucky with the pick of my colors, but anyways, this is how far I am. I started working on the second clue. I use Malabrigo Sock yarn in 3 colors, and it's inspired by a character from Honkai Star Rail game. So basically, this is his like color scheme. I'll put the character here so you see. I still want to finish it. I think I will be wearing it, although there's something, you know, now the thing is that with all the controversy on the internet and the negative emotions around this pattern, I don't have mood to work on it much, although I bought pretty expensive yarn for it. I was really excited for it. I personally didn't notice because, as I said, my colors, okay, the motif that the original clue 1 resembled to was swastika, which is a hate symbol for a lot of people. Well, for all, I hope. But the origin of the symbol is much different, right? It was used pre-Second World War in a completely different connotation. That's how I know it as well. So yeah, it didn't strike me as it should, which I'm ashamed of. Anyways, the whole pattern, when I saw the other clues, I really loved them, so I'm going to finish this for sure. I'm just not sure whether it's going to happen anytime soon. And I'm pretty sure, since it's like a triangular shawl, it will be scrunched, so it's not going to be visible. Anyways, yeah, this is one of the whips that's currently not giving me much joy. Although the colors, they're so beautiful. Oh, by the way, it's sitting here in my big bowl. Not a traveling friendly vessel for a project. Okay. I still don't feel very well about this whole thing. I'm sorry. Let's move to another project, shall we? That's long knee-high socks for myself that are going to be made from leftovers. So that's a completely different atmosphere, completely different ambience. So yes, this is something that's making me very happy. First of all, it's easy. I can work on it anytime. Second, it works. It's worked from leftovers. So, um, so happy. I picked several colors, mostly around yellow and blue, and some, you know, adjustment colors for this to have it in a certain color scheme. I think that I'm slowly approaching to the heel here, but yeah, this is how it looks like. It's the pattern that I'm pulling from is from Petra Machova Kourilova, and it's her Basic Socks That Rock. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. Basic Socks That Rock pattern, but it's a standard sock pattern. So what I did is that I added length, of course, and then I added a little bit of shaping here so it's wider. Then there are some decreases, and now we're on the almost on the ankle, and I'm going to start with the heel very soon. The leftovers that I work on are various sock yarns, mostly Jawoll, Arwetta. There is a lot of shades from Priyatka and her Harry Potter sock club that I have. I think there is also some Malabrigo, some crazy Zauberball. Yeah. So any kind of leftover that I found at home. And yeah, this pattern is for myself. I think I casted this on in September or October. If it wouldn't be so many different balls of yarn, I think it would be a perfect traveling project, but like this, it's a little bit more on the heavy side when it comes to the material. Anyways, very enjoyable. Second pair of socks that I'm working on is a gift for my dad for Christmas. So this is a perfect traveling project because I only use one ball of self-striping yarn. Let's start with the yarn, shall we? So, oops. How to show you like this. This is West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply yarn in their Christmas collection, Candy Cane colorway. It's just simple stripes, but it's really very nice. I already have one sock done, so I'm gonna show you. This is the sock. As I said, it's for my dad. He has very thin legs, but normal feet, so I always alter the pattern a little bit. I made 64 stitches here, but here I have 72, so it fits him better, and it looks like this. So this one is done, and now, yeah, fairly at the beginning of the second sock, but it's a fast knit. Basically, I'm just knitting it anytime I going somewhere. It's something worth, you know, taking out of the bag even for a couple of minutes because the rows are short. I'm working on the magic loop, so basically every half a row you can just stop and wrap your project back in the bag. Nice. And yeah, it's fun. By the way, this year, since we're talking about Christmas presents, I think I'm making 4 handmade. Yeah, this sock, then I'm going to be talking about one more, and I also need socks for my friend that's not casted on yet, and then I'm working on a special project for my boyfriend that is not knitting. I'm sure he will be watching this, so a little spoiler alert, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I already mentioned that I'm working on another Christmas project, Christmas gift. So this time it's for my mom, It's something completely outside of my normal taste. So, this is called Loopy Cable Vest. It's by Isle of Yarn Knitter. Never ever have I knitted from this yarn designer. I don't even know who they are, but my mom really wants a vest. And when we were checking the patterns together, she picked this one. The requirement that she had is that this vest is has buttons that she can just take it off like so, not you know, around the head. Wow, my English is so on point today. I apologize sincerely. Anyways, loopy vest, loopy cable vest. I have some concerns. First of all, I'm knitting the smallest size because my mom is small. This is not small, though. It fits me. It doesn't fit me. It's not oversized on me. It's just, you know, fitting me with like maybe a little bit of negative ease or no ease at all. I think that I know that she prefers something with positive ease, so she can be very comfortable in it. So it's fine, but I still think it will be a little bit bigger on her than I would want, or she would want. But anyways, I don't think I can. I'm not going to rework it. I think it will work fine. I will try to make it longer when I will be blocking it. The yarn that I use is Snefnock by Camaros. This is 55% baby alpaca, 35% ecologisk bomull. I'm very prepared today. And 10%, I think, okay, it's perhaps some sort of wool, and then there is 10% of merino wool. Colorway powder, I think. It's like a very nice grayish. Yes. Say hi to Princess Cyrilla. We're blessed today. Cirinko. Ahoy. She liked this, right? Yeah, it's not a toy. I'm sorry, it's not a toy. She's super gentle around yarn, usually. Hello? Do you want it? Wow. Wait. Ah, okay. I'll have to take this from you. Okay, so. Okay, she started to be interested in what I have here on the sofa, so I hope that I hope for no damage. Anyways, Snefnock, super comfortable. I have to make something for me from this eventually. So yeah, that's another Christmas present that's in works now. I enjoy the cables. Again, I'm not using cable needle because that's the only way I can finish this. And I'm enjoying it. The one concern that I have, other than it's too big, is that I have 6 balls. What you saw here, it was already start of the 3rd one. I'm a little bit worried that I won't have enough yarn. And I think that I bought it at Wool Point, by the way, and I think that they just had these 6. So I'm gonna be hoping for some restock, either with them or Okay, moving on. I'm going to move to a project that's currently confiscated by Princess Cyrilla. Cirinko, já tě tady takhle zvednu. Jsme tady zalehla věci. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Oh no. Right, so the next one is a project that took Czech knitting scene by storm, and it's the Kalara shawl. It was first, I believe it was discovered and knitted by Helenka Helča from Vlněné sestry, and when she started it, then everyone just needed it, myself included. So I casted this on in August, I believe. No, September, because if I casted it in August, I would have shown you last time, and I don't think I did. I casted this on in September from Linen Singles. That is a signature yarn from Vlněné sestry, and they had an event that was called Knitting Summer Camp in August, and then they made 3 signature colorways for that event only. I showed you last time as part of my acquisitions, and I used 2 of them, Dancing Queen and Smells Like Teen Spirit, for this project. So now, can you tell which one is which? Beautiful deep gray, magnificent pink / orange coralish color. I don't have enough superlatives for this one. Oddly enough, I am into pink lately a lot. I never was, I am now. I love this. So my nickname for this project is Barbieheimer. You can tell why, right? First of all, I just started knitting it when the movies were in cinema. Everyone was obsessed by them. Second, I really think it's like the case. So let me show you the project a little bit more. It's at the beginning. Basically the shawl, one side is like this, how to call it? There is like this middle section when you change, you know, the like a rib that divides the shawl between 2 parts. The first one will be just a plain there is no decreases and increases in this part. It will be just like a stripe, or how would I call it? The second one will have decreases and then increases and then decreases. So this is the second part. So at the beginning you increase a lot, then you increase less, and then you decrease very slowly. As I understood, because some ladies that already finished it or almost finished it were very vocal about being this never-ending. So I just casted it on, did a few rows, and now I'm just not working on it much, but I'm really happy about how it looks, and I'm very keen to wear it. Although it's pink, what's happening to me? So yeah, that's the Calara. And I'm not sure if I mentioned the author. The designer of this shawl is Amber O'Brien. So great job, Amber. Yes. Last thing, last work in progress. Last work in progress is a knit along with wool point. That's year-long. Basically, every year they announce a designer, and they have a year-long knit along when you can knit anything from the designer, preferably from the yarn, and then the deadline obviously is the end of the year, and you can submit it for some prizes. This year is with Caitlin Hunter, and I decided to make the Nivalis shirt. I had the materials for quite some time, months already, and I only casted it on maybe a month ago. Let me try to show you without losing the stitches. So it looks so nice. Okay, so it's like a sleeveless top, boxy top. It's worked from bottom to top. It has color work on the bottom only, then it's just one color, and the original pattern features 3 colors basically. And I have it a little bit like opposite and alternate and whatever. So you at the beginning, originally there's two like lighter colors and one dark. Now my dark color is the light one here. Yeah, so this is a spin cycle yarn. It's perhaps the most expensive yarn that I bought. I bought 2 balls, 2 skeins. I only needed 1. That's a bummer, but I will still use the other one as well on another project. Anyways, so the original is that this is dark, and then you have one light color here throughout on the, which I have here as this like lilac, oh, sorry, like aubergine, you know, purple already. And then from here there is a different main color, but I decided that I will make it just from the 2. So my contrast color is Spin Cycle. My main color is Malabrigo Sock. So I will now continue with the plain, you know, knit stitch, and then it is, I don't even know how it's worked. Like here, I think it's somehow separated, so you work, you know, front and back separately, and then you finish with some slightly decorative seam here on the shoulders. But it doesn't really have any sleeves. I think it just has like a very simple like ribbing, and other than that it's a very like just square that you somehow knit. So I'm working on this one. This I hope to finish by the end of the year, so I can still, you know, submit my entry into the knit along and maybe win something. So yeah, Nivalis by Caitlin Hunter, knitted as part of the knit along with Wool Point. That concludes my works in progress. I'm a little bit overwhelmed now, to be honest. There's a lot of them. But yeah, I shall work on them slowly but surely. And maybe next month we'll see some of them as finished object. Some socks for sure. Okay, on to the last section of the day, and that would be acquisitions. So first acquisition was the snafnak that I bought for the vest. You could see, I'm not going to show that a little bit, I'm not going to show it more. Yes, there you go. We are very blessed today. I have the dog on my side the whole time. Anyways, the first acquisition that I want to talk about are these stitch markers. It's not an acquisition per se. I was gifted this from a friend, and they are like Halloween themed. I haven't used them yet, but I will for sure. Do you like them? Can you see the snoot? Can you see her? She's still... No, you're not stealing this from me. She's still here and she's trying to steal from me. Second and third thing. Now, I didn't buy any standalone yarn, but I received 2 things that I ordered a long time ago, and that would be 2 yarn advent calendars. So this year there will be a lot of minis in my life still. Starting with... I'm obviously gonna show you just the packages. So this is the first advent calendar, including the snoot here. No, Siri, what are you doing? So this is Star Wars theme advent calendar. Honestly, I don't remember what was the name of those of those designers, so I'm gonna pop it here. But it's called Journey to the Dark Side. I think it's a fade advent calendar, and it starts with like light colors, beiges, like Jedi themed and all that gems, and then it's going all the way to the dark side. So that's the first one that I acquired. And the second is going to be a little bit noisy. It's from Corner of Craft. It's one of my favorite designers, yarn dyers, sorry. Hannah from Corner of Craft, aka Chromatic Yarns, specializes in Dungeons and Dragons colorway. So her usual colorways really are around different spells or characters or monsters, anything that you can encounter as part of as part of sorry, the dog exit stopped working. What's going on? She's crying now a little bit. So all her colorways are around Dungeons and Dragons. Long story short, she's also doing a monthly yarn club that is called Critical Role, I believe, and it's around Critical Role characters, and I have a couple of colorways from her. Last time I ordered Pike Trickfoot because I cosplay her and I love her, so I ordered sweater quantity. Yes. Anyways, this advent calendar is around I think it's called something like Magical Grimoire or something like this. Yes, we have the snoot again, we have the dog today all the time, and the colorways should be around different spells. And since we already have the names here, I can tell you some examples. So here we have Dispel Magic, we have Charm Person, we have Healing Spells, we have Shield, Control Water, Vortex Warp, Flame Blade, all wrapped in beautiful packages, including, sorry for the noise, this one. That's a Critical Role wrapping paper. How cool is that? You know. So, these are all my acquisitions. Not many, right? I didn't really buy anything for myself those months. Other calendars don't count. I ordered them in May or April, I don't know, very long time ago. So, but things will change. To wrap this episode up, there's a very exciting event ahead of me, and that's Barcelona Knits. Early this year, I decided that I want to go on a knitting festival, and that means that next weekend we are going to Barcelona and we're visiting Barcelona Knits with my friend. So I hope there will be some acquisitions next episode. I just need to figure out the project that I will be trying to find yarn for, because I'm worried that if I don't make a plan, it will be pure chaos, splurge, you know, damage done to my budget, and I don't want that. Although I know it will be fun and I will eventually use those yarns anyway, I still want to be more prepared. So that's my goal for today, basically, to make a plan. And then I'll try, I don't make any promises, to vlog a little bit from Barcelona so I can make it part of next month's podcast. And yeah, have some more interesting content for you. So yeah, that's something that I'm very excited about. Anyways, that was it for today. All my knitting. I'm sorry, the dog, she's poopy. She's trying to tell me something. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe she's just confused that I'm talking for myself, to myself so much. Anyways, yeah, we already have a very nice autumny weather here. We had a very long Indian summer. I think that until the end of October we had like 15-20 degrees, which is insane. I mean, it was enjoyable, but what the heck, what's going on with the planet, right? So I wasn't wearing many of my knits until now, but yeah, now we have a proper autumn. It's sunny today, so it's really beautiful. I almost have light here in the apartment, so I'm enjoying it. And yeah, I think I'm just going to finish now, because otherwise I will keep talking and talking about nothing. So enjoy the autumn days, enjoy the pre-advent, enjoy knitting and crafting, and you know, time with your friends and family and whatever makes you happy. And I'll talk to you next month, I promise, at the beginning of Advent. So we can talk about Barcelona, we can talk about some of the contents of the advent calendars already, and I'm hopefully going to have some knitting finished for you again. So yeah, have a great day, have a great month, and talk to you very soon. Bye bye. La la la.